This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi. Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. Well, with us today is Bruce Blakeman. He's the county executive for Nassau County, and I must point out, the safest county in America. And Bruce, welcome to Sunday morning. Next week is the 4th of July weekend, and we're celebrating our freedom. And you're running for governor. Tell us what's going on.
Well, John, we're getting a tremendous amount of support around the state. People are miserable with Kathy Hochul and Zoran Mandami. Taxes have gone up. We are the most overtaxed state in the United States of America. Our electric bills are 70% higher than the national average. That's a disgrace. Our economic outlook is number 50 out of 50 states. And Kathy Hochul is pro-criminal all the way. Everything she does in criminal justice, it's to protect criminals and not neighborhoods and not families and not victims. So we got the support, we've got the momentum, and we've got the message. So we need a governor that makes New Yorkers happy, not one that makes them miserable.
Well, I think we have to, Bruce Blakeman, you got the safest county in the country, not only the state. And that's very important to the American people, that we have the safest state. And you have to tackle New York City, because New York City, we worried about things going on. But business-wise, New York is falling behind. A lot of businesses, a lot of people are moving out of New York. What can we do about that?
Well, first of all, we've got to cut taxes. That's a big reason why people and businesses leave. We've got to cut out regulations that strangle business. That's why companies are moving out, because it's too hard to do business in New York State. We've got to cut utility bills, John, whether you live in a home or whether you run a business. We can't sustain having 70% higher electric bills than the rest of the country. And, of course, we've got to make for safer communities, because nobody wants to live in a community that's unsafe. I have a track record in Nassau County of not raising taxes, haven't raised them a penny, gotten 7 bond upgrades, 4 budget surpluses, and U.S. News and World Report says we're the safest county in America. Niche Magazine says my county is the nicest place to live in all of New York State. I can do for New York State what I did for my county, because we need policies that protect New Yorkers, that support New Yorkers, not giving $8 billion to illegal migrants who haven't earned a thing. That's our taxpayer dollars that should be spent on New Yorkers. It's a disgrace. I will end it on day one.
I understood. And this congestion tax, we have retail stores in Manhattan, and we have the Gristedes chains, we have the D'Agostino chains. And if you drive up and down the avenues in New York City, so many stores have closed. This congestion tax, I think, is hurting the economy in New York City more than the amount of money they're collecting.
John, I want to tell you a story. The other day, I was taking the train from Grand Central Station back to New York, back to Long Island, and I'm on the train, and people are coming up to me. They're congratulating me, saying, way to go. We're supporting you for governor. And there's an African-American gentleman sitting across the aisle from me, and he looks at me, he goes, "Who are you? Everybody's coming up and talking to you." I said, "I'm Bruce Blakeman. I'm running for governor." I said, "What do you do, sir?" He says, "Well, I have 2 jobs." He said, "Let me ask you a question, Mr. Blakeman. Where do you stand on congestion pricing?" I said, "I'm against it. It's a tax on the middle class." He says, "Well, I'm going to vote for you because I got 2 jobs, and I used to drive into the city, but I can't afford to anymore. So now I take the train. I've got to wake up an hour earlier. It's a disaster. If you will end it, I'm voting for you. So that's the sentiment of people out there. It's a tax on the middle class. It's hurting retail businesses in lower Manhattan. And think about if you live there. If you live there, every time you go visit someplace else and you come back home, you got to pay a tax. It's just crazy.
We need common sense to prevail, Bruce Blakeman. And it seems like bad decisions are made by the state legislature and the state senate and the state assembly, and we're worried. We're worried about keeping our headquarters in New York.
Absolutely, John. Listen, the only way to save this state is to support my campaign this year. Because the left-wing lunatics, I'm not talking about liberals. Liberals love America. They just have a different philosophy than you and I do. But they're not bad people. I'm talking about the Zohran Mamdani wing of the Democratic Party. These people hate America. They're a danger to our state. They're a danger to our country, and they got to be stopped.
Understood. Now, the last week, three Democratic socialists beat out three Democratic moderates. So you might have three more Congress people with socialist philosophies in Congress. That's not going to help New York.
No, it's not going to help New York because, as Winston Churchill said, communism, socialism, it's nothing more than shared misery. And that's what we have now under Kathy Hochul and Zohran Mamdani. They want to make everybody miserable so they don't know the difference between being happy and being miserable. I want to make people happy again, cut their taxes, cut their utility rates, make safer communities. Isn't that what a government official is supposed to do? And these socialists, they hate America. Everything they say is anti-American. Well, you know what? If you don't like America, get out. Go live someplace else. You're not improving people's lives here in America. You're trying to destroy them with a system of economic and governmental structure that has been a failure every place it's ever been tried.
What else would you like to accomplish in New York State that you feel it's important to make New York City or New York State great again?
Well, we have to make it more affordable, John. So Zohran Mamdani and Kathy Hochul just imposed a rent freeze. Now, on the surface, that seems like if you're living in an apartment, hey, that's a good thing. My rent's not going up. But here's the bad thing about it. The bad thing about it is that nobody is investing in affordable housing anymore in New York. As a matter of fact, those who have units that are vacant, they're keeping them vacant because they can't afford to make capital improvements and repairs. We now have 80,000 vacant units in the city of New York, and landlords, they're going to give up. They're going to leave. And Zohran Mamdani and Kathy Hochul will take everything under the umbrella of the New York City Housing Authority. You're going to be living under the New York City Housing Authority, which is the biggest slumlord in the United States of America. And that's what they want. They want to control your home, your housing. And, I believe let the landlords make a fair and reasonable return on their investment. We'll get more affordable housing. It'll be more competitive. That will drive the price down. That will make it more affordable in the city of New York and the state of New York.
Well, Bruce Blakeman, thank you for making Nassau County the safest city in the country. And we, I worry about New York, and we need somebody with common sense, and thank you for everything you do, and let's catch up again real soon.
Thanks so much, John. Have a great day.